Hello friends, welcome to Salesforce CRM video session 65. So in today's video, we will actually learn about the two profiles which we mostly use in Salesforce CRM or Salesforce Analytics. And those two main profiles which we use are Analytics Integration User, Analytics Cloud Integration User, and Analytics Cloud Security User. Okay. And I think maybe in today's video, I may not be able to explain you properly about Analytics Cloud Security User. Okay, the reason being, to explain that, I have to first of all explain you about security predicate. And I think, security predicate is something we will cover at a very later stage, at the designer level. But, I just want to touch upon this topic so that at least, if an interviewer asks you, like, what are the two kinds of profile which you has, and maybe on a theoretical basis, I will still explain you what is the meaning of security user, analytics cloud security user. But yeah, I think I will come back to this topic of analytics cloud security user at a later stage. Okay, once I explain you the security predicate of data set, okay, because that's where the main application is. But anyways, let's quickly jump back to this. So let me go to Analytics Studio. Let me go to Data Manager. Let me go to Manage Data Flow. Okay. And here, if I go to this Connect tab, right? Now, see, first of all, I want to make one thing very much clear to you. This Analytics Cloud Security User and Analytics Cloud Integration User is only applicable once you are pulling data from your local. Okay, so of course we pull data from other orgs as well, right? Now, in those kind of scenario, we are not bothered about the Analytics Cloud Integration User and the Analytics Cloud Security User, because we are just pulling in the data from an external database. Okay, that's a different story altogether. But when it comes to pulling data from an internal log, that is the log which contains your Salesforce instance, and if you're pulling any data or any objects or its particular fields from your uh, org which is using the Salesforce CRM, then you have to be very careful with these two profiles. Okay, so now what happens is, let me go to my object manager. Okay, and let me show you one practical example. Here, for example, let me take the account part. Okay, so first of all, let me run this sync. It's been a long time since we didn't run the sync. Okay, and yeah. Okay, so this particular account sync ran successfully. Fine. Now, if you see here, okay, mm, let me take this account rating for example. Okay, so when I go to object manager and if I open this particular object name account, okay, and let me check out the name once again. It is account rating. Okay, let me consider this field account rating. Okay, now if you see here, you are able to see the account rating over here. Okay, which is completely fine, which I'm pulling the data, which I'm putting this field from my account object in my local Salesforce org. That is the org which contains the CRM or Salesforce Analytics. Fine. Now this account rating, right? Where is the account rating? I think this account rating and rating is different if I'm not wrong. Okay. Let's consider this account site, okay, which is a text. I'm not sure that rating part is actual or not. Okay, so let me search with rating maybe. Okay, yeah, I think this account rating and rating both are same things. That's fine. So if you see, right, yeah, this rating which we have, which is a pick list field. Okay, so if I just go over here, right, rating, and if I go to this set field level security, okay, now there are two kinds of profile which you have: analytics cloud integration user and analytics cloud security user. Now see very carefully, if I disable this checkbox, okay, analytics cloud integration user. So what's the meaning of analytics cloud integration user? Basically any kind of fields which you are pulling from your local Salesforce analytics org those kind of fields, if you want to use in your data layer, okay, or forget about using it in your data layer, if you want to pull that field, right, in via connect, because right now we can directly pull the field also, which I will show you in one of the session. So to actually access those fields, you have to give this permission, sales analytics cloud integration. Otherwise, that won't be pulled in that connect layer, or that won't be used in the data layer. Okay. So now if I save this, right, by disabling this checkbox of analytics cloud integration user, if I save this, okay. And now if you come over here and if you, let's say, refresh this, okay, let me go to connect and let me open this account. And if I search with rating right now, see, I'm not getting anything. Okay. Earlier, there was something called as account rating, if you remember, right? But see, I'm not getting that checkbox of account rating at all right now. I mean, that field is only not accessible. Fine. So that's the reason, because I disabled that checkbox, analytics cloud integration user. Fine. So now what I'm going to do is, again, let me just enable this once again. Okay. So right now you don't see in the connect tab. And let's say if I enable this once again. And now if you refresh this, okay, you see you're able to see this once again, account rating. Fine. So that's the thing. Okay. Let's take one more example. For example, let's say I take this segment. Okay. So if I go over here to this, let me go back. Okay. Let me go to object manager. Let's go to fields and relationship. Fine. And let's go for segment. Okay. Now for this segment, if I go once again here, and if I go to this set field level security, where it shows which are the profiles which can view this. Now again, if I disable this checkbox, right, analytics cloud integration user, and if I save this, okay. So now see, you were able to see this segment, right, up till now. Now when I disable that checkbox of analytics cloud integration user for this particular field, and if you go to this connect, okay, and if you go to this account, fine. If you click on continue, sorry, not continue, I'm sorry. If you just click on this search with this segment, right? See, that segment is not coming right now. Okay. And again, if I just set the field level security and enable that checkbox and cloud integration user, okay. And if I click on save, and now if I refresh the screen, and now if I open this account, I'm able to see this checkbox segment. Okay, after which I can definitely use it in the data layer. Okay, so that's the difference between these two profiles. Fine. So these are the two important profiles which you have in Salesforce CRM Analytics or Salesforce Analytics. So Analytics Cloud integration is, as I already explained. Fine. If you want to use that data in your data layer, you won't be able to use it, because even if you can't use that data in the data, that means you won't be able to see in your design layer, that is data set also, right? Or in the dashboard. Fine. Now, what is the meaning of anti-close security user? So the thing is that, basically, let me tell you for now what is the meaning of this, and maybe I can explain you better at a later stage. So if you disable this checkbox, that anti-close integration user, what happens? First of all, in security predicate, we use certain things like, $user.id. Like we want to compare some things, like let's say, our account name with the $user.m. Just giving an example. What happens in that case, like in the security predicate, if you don't disable, if you disable this checkbox of and is for security user, then you won't be able to access that particular field in the security predicate. Fine. And that is something I won't be able to explain you right now, because I have to first of all explain you the security predicate part. Okay. But I hope you got this analytics cloud integration user. So in case it's being asked to you, like what are the important profiles which you have in Salesforce CRM Analytics? So two profiles are the CRM, Analytics Cloud integration user, Analytics Cloud security user, and Analytics Cloud integration user is something which you can explain right now. In case they ask you anyhow, I will explain at a later stage. You can just mention that to access the security predicate or any settings related to the user object, you need this particular profile Analytics Cloud security user. Okay. Now in Google, if you just search this one, right, difference between analytics integration user and analytics security user. Okay. So just search in Google difference between analytics integration user and analytics security user. There's a beautiful article which is written by Gayatri Sharma. Fine. So if you just hover to this link, fine. She has actually explained this very beautifully about the anti-social integration and anti-trust security use. Okay. So if we walk just one by one, whatever I told you, that has been written over here completely. Okay. So basically, if you want to create anything, you won't be able to access in your data flow. It was a long time back. So in data flow recipe, doesn't matter. At the end of the day, is a data layer where you can't access it. So it needs to have the object level access to all the objects from which data you want to put, and field level access. Okay. And you impact sharing a sector. So basically, by disabling that, it's not that you won't be able to see that field. That's a different thing. But it security user, what happens? It impacts your sharing and security predicate functionality. Okay, that's the part. So this analytics for security user comes into picture when we come to that role visibility. Okay, in data sets, fine. Otherwise, at least you will be able to. For example, right now, I mean, if I just disable this checkbox, right, for segment analytics for security user, and if I click on save, fine. So I've disabled that checkbox, right? And slow integration is, as you can see here. Okay. At the end of the day, if I go to this, right, and if I refresh this once again, and if I open the account, huh, see, you can still see the segment. So that has nothing to do with, being able to use it in the data, but it impacts the sharing and security predicate, which we will walk through. Okay. So I will explain this better once I explain the security predicate. But for now, I think you can just refer this definition, which is completely fine. Okay. So yeah, that was the whole purpose of this particular video. I hope you have understood this part. And yeah, let's meet very soon in our next video. Thank you.